This happened when removing my menstrual cup in front of my boyfriend. For those of you who don't know, a menstrual cup is a soft and flexible medical grade silicone cup that you can leave in for up to 12 hours to collect the period blood and pour out. As you can imagine, a full cup has a fair amount of blood. This is important for later. This morning at 5 AM, I felt the need to go to the toilet. I noticed that a little blood had spilled out, so I knew it was over time to empty my cup. This usually doesn't happen to me, but I guess overnight I had more blood than usual. Groggy at 5 AM with the lights off, I take my cup out and dump it into the toilet. It was messy, and I finally discovered that I had an accident with how much blood came out. I chucked my cup in the sink next to me ready to clean everything up, but at this moment, my boyfriend peeks into the bathroom to see if I'm okay and what I'm doing awake. From his perspective, he just sees blood all over my hands and in the sink. The lights were off and he just can see me from the flash on my phone. It looked like a horror scene. He freaked out and fainted at the door. Me, being concerned without thought, jumped up to aid my boyfriend who had just collapsed on the floor without a second thought. I then instantly realized I had blood all over my hands, and now all over him and the floor. He wakes up a moment later, freaking out not knowing why there is blood everywhere. I explained it to him, and was left with a shocked boyfriend and a literal bloody mess I had to clean up at 5 AM. I emptied my period cup in the dark at 5 AM and my boyfriend thought the blood on my hands was from some horror injury and fainted. Oh wow, menstrual cups are a trip. This reminds me of a similar story that happened to me a few years ago. I was on the first and heaviest day of my period, and went out for a few drinks that night. A few drinks turned into a few more, and my partner and I came back pretty drunk. We both passed out in bed, and I forgot to empty my cup. I realized my horrific mistake the next morning, when I woke up to a literal pool of blood cupped between my legs. Tossing and turning during the night, there was a fair bit on my partner's legs too. I got up to go clean up, but the cup had overflowed so much that the blood flowed down my leg, leaving literal bloody footprints leading into the bathroom. I guess in the bathroom I made too many noises of frustration as I cleaned up the bloodbath. As my partner was roused, looked down at the bloody sheets and his bloody self, saw literal horror movie footprints leading out of my bedroom, and me groaning in the bathroom. He runs out to see what happens, slips on a footprint, slides into the door frame, and sees me washing blood from my hands, still with streaks of blood down my legs. Menstrual cups are wonderful. Better protection, more environmentally thoughtful. But damn, remember to empty them out when you get home from a night on the beer. Holy crap. I've never had that happen. Thank goodness. I've never said this to anyone on Reddit before, but I seriously love your username and wish I could steal it. My son told me that I should make an account. I was trying to articulate what I wanted Reddit to do for me. Reddit does show my dog videos an awful lot. That cute. If I ever convince my mom to make an account, hers would be show me goat videos. I always save the little goat gif posts to show her when I see her. I did not expect such a cute and wholesome conversation in a thread about accidental period spillage. LMFAO. Elmo is a fellow menstrual cup user. I totally get what happened. If you accidentally spill/remove the cup the wrong way, the whole area will look like a crime scene, haha. That's why I always take mine out in the shower. Same. Lol, husband always knows it's that time of the month when I start showering twice a day. Is it weird if I laughed at this story? I love a good heart attack at 5 in the morning. It's a great way to quickly wake up, and then just as quickly pass out again. Username lol. This is brilliant. The first time my husband saw a really bad period with me, he flipped out. He was horrified at how much blood actually comes out, and he just stood there shocked and asked if I needed to lay down or something. I was so chill, and he couldn't understand why I wasn't panicking. I have very heavy periods and the fiance is both curious and scared to see what the toilet looks like after I've cleaned up. Lol, his sex ed in high school was apparently pretty useless. so I've had to explain a lot about the female body to him unfortunately. But once I correct him or give him insight, he always comes to me the next day saying he researched more about it and talks about how interesting it is and how surprised he is that he never learned it. It's both cute and kinda sad because of the education system, not him being unaware of what he doesn't know. My husband is the same. We'll talk about the female body and he'll be super curious and Google it, and then we discuss it. I really appreciate his curiosity, but he's very polite about it and will ask if he can look at stuff down there and ask questions afterward. It's nice when your partner is interested in things about you, especially when you don't think it's a big deal or super great like periods lol. You know, I don't think guys get how some of us deal with much heavier bleeding, and I feel like a crime scene cleanup crew sometimes. But this was a pretty funny tifu. Menstruation isn't talked about at all in public, and since guys don't have to deal with it, they forget about it. I've lived years without thinking about periods, before having 2 female friends who talk about it. OMG. Love it. So sorry for you. Hope your boyfriend is okay and understanding lol. Thanks for sharing. He's brilliant. If he knew it was period blood, I'm sure he wouldn't have fainted. He thought I gashed myself or something. Try again next month. Prove the hypothesis. What happens if you lay down? Vaginas are like vacuum sealed on the inside. The cup sits below the cervix, the hole where the blood comes out, on the inside a few centimeters from the vaginal hole. The cup is suction sealed in, and whilst the blood may swish around in the cup itself, it won't pour out or go back in my cervix because the vaginal walls create a seal. Not trying to sound all technical, but it's the only way I can explain it. Without a cup it definitely is not sealed though. Let's ensure we are anatomically correct for the guys reading this. I'm trying to be as mature about this as possible, but I can't help wondering if you could queef and shoot the cup at unsuspecting enemies. Holy, that would be amazing. But sadly the cup gets vacuum sealed against the walls of your vagina, so it would be pretty impossible to force it out like that. Nerf dart maybe? I don't know what that is. But if it helps me build my vagina cannon, I'm keen to learn. Okay, not quite a cannon, but I went to a strip show where a lady would throw objects at people with her vagina. She'd do a forward roll and send a slippery dildo flying towards the crowd. That sounds terrible lol. I want to see it. Congratulations. You two have just created a fabulous remember that time memory. A great one. Damn, I always forget about women bleeding, and I feel like I don't have to complain about if that's what all women gotta go through. One time my GF in high school got her period and we were out at town. I was unfamiliar with the area and I was driving and she wanted to pull over to get materials. And since I didn't wanna get turned around, I was like, "Can you just hold it?" And she laughed so hard in my face I can still feel the embarrassment lol. But it was pretty funny, especially in retrospect. It just sucks that we are not taught this in school. This should stop being taboo and become common knowledge before it starts happening. Apparently, her cup runneth over. Oh no, wahaha. Other than this little mishap, how have you found the menstrual cup? I really want to get one, but I don't know where to begin with buying one. Other than that, you and your BF sound hella cute, and I'm still laughing at this lil up. I'm glad it made you laugh. I use the lunette size one. I have X2, so I can swap over which one I'm using whilst the other one is being cleaned. I absolutely swear by them. I did do a lot of research beforehand though, to find the best fit and type for my body. I've been using menstrual cups for 4 years now, and I could honestly never go back to tampons or pads. It's so comfortable, and the main factor for me is that I can usually go 12 hours before changing my cup. That's a big plus for working and exercising. I love not having bloody underwear too, because the cup does such a good job of holding it all in, unlike tampons and pads for me at least. It was hard at the start, but by the 4th time using it, I can remove/change and empty my cup in under a minute with no mess. And the environmental and economic factors are a big plus too. I say go for it. Word of advice. Don't get a cheap one. I paid $70 for mine. Thanks for taking the time to write this all out. I'll definitely start doing a bit more research into what would be the best fit for my body. The best place I know is put a cup in it. Their quiz saved me a lot of time and money for trial and error. I got the one their quiz recommended me and haven't looked back. Menstrual cups rule. My wife handles them similarly in THR morning. Sometimes in her groggy state she assumes all the blood makes it in the toilet. I go to in the AM. I will never get used to finding blood on my. It's like some of it gets on the seat and comes in contact with my peen. Takes like 10 minutes for me to realize I'm not dying. I was today years old when I found out about menstrual cups. Did some light research and it looks like a much better option over tampons and pads. It is. Highly recommend. I'm a male, but I'll definitely let my partner know. I'm sure she does, but it'll make interesting convo. I once took her and nearly had a heart attack at my bloody stool. Turns out my wife didn't flush. And I didn't look until after.